really is a legend. Forgive me for being the maitre d' and getting into this, but Norm Augustine deserves an introduction. Mr. Norm Augustine.
I shouldn't crash the party, but a friend of mine just the other day said to me that 3 people can't get together for lunch in Washington without having to hear Augustine give a speech on innovation. So here's my speech on innovation. But, you know, my belief is that America, just in the last few years, has come to appreciate the importance of innovation. And the reason for that is people like the speaker, it's people like Craig, it's people like the chairman, like the congresswoman, and like all of you in this room. It was not always so. I first became concerned, though, some 20 years ago that we were falling behind. There were early warning signs. And as a matter of fact, I've got 24 other CEOs of the major corporations in America that were in the high-tech world and asked them to sign a op-ed that we could collectively submit. And I actually got the signatures of all 25 of us. And no major newspaper would publish our op-ed about competitiveness and about innovation. We were told that it's not a topic of interest. And these were the major newspapers. And I thought it was an accomplishment to get 25 CEOs to agree that it was Tuesday and sign a piece of paper on that. But before we condemned the media, they were dumb like a fox, because what we did, we went and paid their newspapers to run full-page ads with our advertorial. And just as a side, about a year later, a big wooden crate arrived at my office with this beautiful trophy in it. Turns out the media gives an award for the best advertorial every year. We won the award. So, but a lot has happened, if you think about it. Ford sold for $1 and a penny a share. General Motors and Chrysler are in bankruptcy. The Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, no longer in existence. Bell Labs is now owned by the French. IBM's PC business is owned by the Chinese. Today's children, for the first time in our nation's history, are going to be less well educated than was the generation before them. And you say, how could you create a perfect storm like that? And I think the way you do it is you have a wage scale that's very high compared with the rest of the world. You have a K through 12 system, a public system that's one of the poorest in the world, and you don't invest in research. And that's the formula. And we can't follow that formula anymore. And thank goodness we have people like the speaker and like Craig and like the others in this room. The speaker took this on as an initiative as soon as she became speaker, and we moved a whole new level of progress. She held this meeting at Princeton, where she gathered much of the leadership of the Congress. She held hearings on this subject, and she saw to it that the money was put in place. And so I think our debt to her is absolutely enormous. You know, supporting research, there aren't that many scientists in the world. Supporting K through 12 education, those kids don't vote. At least I hope they don't yet. But the fact is that she made the difference. She really did. And in the industry at the same time, there was Craig, who's been at this for so long, working right alongside and helping make sure that the importance of research, the importance of K through 12 education was widely understood. And you, like I, heard the rumor that Craig was retiring. Now, I can think of a lot of descriptions of Craig, but retiring is not one of them. In fact, Craig, I had many quotes from Craig that were absolutely terrific that the National Academies wouldn't let me put in the Gathering Storm report. And my conclusion was that they were too true, too clear, and too forceful to be viewed as scholarly, so they weren't included. But in any event, I'm just honored to be able to be here among the applauders for these two folks and for all of you, and to thank you for what you've accomplished. You know, Winston Churchill once said, you can always count on the Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else. Well, this is one of those examples with leadership like we see right here, and like the speaker, where I think we got it right this time. The challenge now is to sustain it. A one-year jump isn't the answer to a long-term project like education and like research. So thank you for listening to my speech on innovation.
do
Put
this.
Mr. Barrett, put Mr. Barrett in the center.
I want
Okay,
with these two guys.
all right. Come on,
Sorry,
Laura.
should we get the chairman? Oh, that's what.
That's right, that's
okay,
what you're right
all
there. That's perfect.
Hold your,
My discus.
that's right.
It's upside down.
No, it's not.
Well, I hope